Federal Reserve just announced its September monetary policy change as it wraps up its September FOMC meeting. The interest rate is lowered by 50 basis point or 0.5%, like I have shared before on this channel. The interest rate has now been lowered from 5.25 to 5.5% range down to 5.45 to 5% range. And this marks the beginning of the easing cycle, and the end of the tightening cycle started in the March of 2022. This picture shows you the difference between the press release statement between the one we just got, the September one, versus the one shared on previous meeting, which was the July meeting. There was no August meeting. So as we can see, there's a lot of differences marked in red. Regarding job market, they used to say job gain has moderated in July, but now in September they changed the wording to job gain has slowed, right? There's an emphasis on the slowing down of the job market. And in terms of the inflation, it changed to further progress was made towards a 2% objective. Okay, and so it's saying it's been developing in a healthy way in terms of cooling down the inflation. So it also says that the committee has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably towards 2%, and the risks to achieving its employment and inflation goals are roughly in balance. Okay, so that's very important, saying that the two mandates are getting in balance. It's implying that maybe the rate should be also in balance. The rate should go to a neutral rate instead of where we are right now. And for the sentence regarding FOMC's commitment, it added the line or the item that says mandate of maximum employment. Which is over here. Okay, supporting maximum employment. So previously this wasn't there. So previously it was only mentioning the 2% inflation target, but now it's saying, okay, the Fed is shifting its focus on two of its objectives now, right? So it's kind of saying inflation might be behind us, and we're gonna be more focused on the job market. Which kind of tell us why they're doing this jumbo size rate cut. And this picture is coming from its economic projection, where it's a projection that Federal Reserve makes every other meeting. So the last meeting they shared this projection was the June meeting, okay? And as we can see, we're more interested in this median section. It's just how FOMC members feel about different items over here. As we can see in terms of GDP, right? The GDP for different years are like 2%, 2%, 2, a little bit lower than the June projection, which is 2 meetings ago, right? So in June projection, 2024 was like 2.1 GDP. Now we're down to 2.0, but mostly in line. But in terms of unemployment rate over here, in the September meeting, they're thinking for the year 2024, the unemployment rate will be 4.4%. But in the June meeting, it was only projected to be 4%. So pretty much the unemployment rate projection has been worsened compared to the June meeting. Now, in terms of inflation, Federal Reserve uses PCE instead of CPI. So the overall PCE inflation, as we can see, is a little bit cooler, right, than the previous projection in June. Right? For example, it was projecting 2.6. Now it's down to 2.3 for the year 2024. And the core PCE, same thing, right? It's a little bit cooler now at 2.6 for 2024 compared to the 2.8 from the June projection. Okay, so this is why they're cutting more, right? They're projecting cooler inflation, and they're projecting a weaker job market. Also over here we can see the Fed funds rate target, right? Obviously, in June, they were targeting 5.1%. Now it's down to 4.4%. Okay, and what's very interesting is the long term. This is what I think their neutral rate is, right? The long term interest rate. It used to be 2.8. Now it has risen to 2.9% for the long term neutral rate. Okay, and more on the interest rate, we can also see it from the dot plot. Each dot represents a FOMC member. Each column represents a year. Okay, so it's comparing the June dot plot versus the one we just got, the September dot plot. It's very obvious for 2024. See, the things are moving down. It used to be here. Now they're moving down. For 25, right? The median dot plot is moving down, right? So, for example, for 2024 in June meeting, the median dot plot 5.1%, right? And now we're at 4.4%, implying a 1% rate cut for the whole year. Okay, for the whole year. So we have 2 more meetings left. So how many are they going to cut? It seems like it could be 2 more 25 basis point, right, to achieve that 1% total reduction. And for 2025, in the June meeting, it was the median projection is 4.4% interest rate, and now we're down to 3.4%. Okay, a whole percentage lower in 2025. But I personally think this is just a snapshot of what everybody thinks at this very moment. But in the future, how it's going to go is going to be data dependent. Okay, thank you very much.